Right, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's video. And today we're going to have a bit more of a change of flavour. And today we're going to be looking at this iPhone 6. It has water damage on it, and it was given to me by a colleague at work, rather sheepishly I might add, who says it was in the bottom of his bag and he had a bottle of water in there, and unfortunately it's leaked over it. And then when he's actually come to get the phone out of his bag to use it, the thing won't turn on, so it's completely dead. We try and power the phone on. You can see there's nothing doing. It's running off the battery at the moment. I've tried a mains charger with it, and it's just the same. It's completely dead. So we're going to see if we can get this thing to fire up. Now the thing is that I don't recommend fixing water damaged phones. To be honest, they can be more hassle than they're worth. But basically, my colleague has an issue whereby all his baby photos are on this phone. It's not synced to iCloud. He hasn't backed it up for about 18 months, he says, and consequently, he needs everything off here if he can get it. So we're going to have a look, and we're going to see if we can get this thing to fire up again. Hopefully we can. Hopefully we will. As I say, we're not interested in getting it back to a completely working condition. We're just interested in getting the board out and seeing if we can get power to it, so we can get it into iTunes, get his stuff off, and from there, if it's easily fixable, we might look at fixing it. If it's not, then as long as we can get stuff off it. So that's the main thing today. This is data recovery. It's not so much to fix the phone. We're just interested in getting this thing to start up. So we'll get the board out and we'll see what we can do. So join me in a sec, boys and girls, and let's take a look. Right, okay, so we've got our board out of our iPhone chassis now. So let's take a look and see just what we can do with regards to fixing it. Now, these things seem to always get caught with water damage in the same place. And we're just going to get the microscope camera in here and we'll show you. So I'm just going to insert a photo here. This is what it looked like when my colleague dropped it on my desk. Now, luckily enough, I always carry some bits and pieces around with me, just in the event that something goes off. So screwdrivers, a little bottle of alcohol, all that sort of stuff. And in this instance, it paid for itself because this happened. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. So you can see it's pretty nasty. But we have got rid of, a lot of the water contamination from the board. So the water contamination really wasn't going to do it any favors. So at least now we've got that. So we're just going to give this thing a quick rub down. So that's a bit of IPA. So that big cap there doesn't look particularly happy, does it? The smaller ones behind don't look too bad. But it's not to say that they aren't shorted too. They could be pretty knackered. I'm pretty sure that cap there is going to be shorted because, as I say, when I've done a couple of these, and to be honest, they've all ended up with water ingress here. Now the ones under this cover actually look pretty clean. There's nothing gone under there. It literally just looks like a little trickle's gone over it. It must be the tiniest amount of water imaginable that's actually ended up on his phone, and rather unfortunately for him, it just happens to have landed in the wrong area. So if we take a look now, and we have a look and see just what is going on in that area of the board to see what that cap actually does and what it controls, then we can see then what we need to do. So I'm just going to show you on the screen in a sec. Okay, so this is the schematic for the iPhone 6, and if we go and find this little area here, it's actually just at the top of the board. Now, these schematics usually aren't searchable, which is a real pain in the arse. But this big cap here is C5202RF. Okay, so if we plumb that into here, C5202 underscore RF, we can see here that actually it's relating to the wireless LAN Bluetooth chip. And this is the problem, you see, because here we go. So the input to this circuit is PPVCC main. So PPVCC main is actually the main power input to the circuit. It's the main power rail that runs through the phone. Now these things are pretty simple, to be honest. So if that cap there is indeed shorted, as it looks like it may be, then basically that cap is going to pull this entire PPVCC main line to ground. which basically means that we're going to get no power to our phone. So let's see if that is indeed the case. So you can see the state of the cap there. So we're just going to put our meter here into continuity, and we'll see what you can see. Okay, so you can see a shot of the multimeter there. So we're going to go for, now then, ground I believe is on the right hand side of this, and it's pretty nasty, but yep, you can see there we're shorted straight across. Let's see then what happens when we remove that nasty cap from our board. So remember, we're not necessarily after looking to repair this. So that is actually a 10 microfarad cap. So we're just going to apply a dab of flux to our dirty cap there. Now then, the annoying thing about this particular thing is the Wi-Fi Bluetooth chip is next door to it. Now, the problem with that is that it's covered in underfill, and underfill is nasty stuff. Underfill is, it's like a felty type substance, which is mixed with epoxy, which is obviously designed to stop water ingress, but at the same time, it's pretty horrible stuff. So it's not the nicest stuff to try and work with. So we're just going to get a pair of fine tweezers here and a bit of hot air. And we'll try and remove that cap. Now, unfortunately, I do need to adjust my microscope setup slightly here because I haven't got the right magnification ring in, unfortunately, to show you this up close and personal. Whilst it's on the scope, it's going to get in the way. So, unfortunately, I'm having to do this through the standard camera, which I know isn't exactly ideal. Okay, so we've got rid of that. Go back in. So you can see there we've managed to pick it out of the underfill without doing too much damage to anything else in the vicinity of that there. So if we get our multimeter probes, we'll just try and measure that line for continuity to ground again. So we should get a beep on one side of this. And for the next time we use, the scope, I'll just stab myself with my multimeter probes. For the next time we use the scope, we'll try and make sure we have the right magnification ring in for it. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bit of a waste of time, isn't it? So let's see then. So I said that I thought, if I remember rightly, the pin on the right was ground, which it does appear to be, and the one next door isn't. So we'll touch it in there, and yeah, we don't seem to have any reading to ground there, so that's pretty cool. So we could, if we wanted, replace that cap. So as I say, we could replace that cap if we wanted to, but I'm not particularly bothered about replacing the cap, to be fair. All we're here to do really is to get the phone up and running again, to get the data off it. You could replace that cap, you absolutely could. That wouldn't be a problem. You could replace that cap if you indeed wanted to, but we don't want to. We are just interested in getting power to this phone to actually get it to boot, so we can get data off it. You know, we could replace that cap if, you know, we pop the shields off and we'll see what else the rest of the board's like. If it's in decent nick, then we can replace that cap and see if we can get, you know, the thing back to full, you know, full working order again. And if we can, that's great. But that isn't particularly our main aim, our main goal today. It's just to get the stuff off it. So that's what we're going to look at doing now. So we're going to put this board back in the phone. Okay, so we've got the phone largely reassembled now. So we've put the screen on. All the ribbons are connected there at the top. The battery's reconnected. Power and volume buttons are now all connected. So we're just going to try and power the phone on now. As you can see, we have an Apple logo. So we'll just see if this thing boots. So as we could see, and as we identified from our schematic diagram there, we had a big cap, C5202RF, that was actually shorted to ground, which that hooks onto the main VCC line that goes through the phone, so the main power line through the phone there. So we actually removed that, and as you can see now, our phone is booting, so it's prompting us for the passcode. So we can go put that in. The battery, so the time on the phone is actually a little bit squiffy. It's not. I can show you now. It's not quarter to 4 in the morning. But there we go. Made me jump, didn't it? But yeah, so we're all up and running there now, and we've got power, so we should be able to get this thing onto iTunes and synced, and we should be able to get some data off with any luck. So that one's that, ladies and gentlemen. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you found this useful. You know, or at least you learned something there today. So as we could see, just that one cap being shorted to ground could actually render your entire phone useless. And you know, it doesn't take a lot of water, as we can see. You know, it must have been the tiniest drop. But if it's in the worst possible place, then that tiny drop of water can wreak havoc. So, as I say, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe to the channel for more of this sort of stuff. I'm not a big fan of working on mobile phones, to be honest with you, but we're certainly going to be looking at some more Apple stuff in the coming weeks, and of course more of the PlayStation and Xbox stuff too. So I will see you on the next video, boys and girls. And as I say, if you found this useful or you liked it, then if you could just let the end ad play out, would always be appreciated, as it does help my channel and what I do on here for you. So that would be very much appreciated. So I will see you on the next video, boys and girls. So from me now, it's bye bye, and I'll see you on the next vid. We can see that it's a fuse, and it's a fuse right underneath L7130. So if we have a look on our mainboard here, L7130 is our inductor, remember, where everything's smoothed out, that's here, and our fuse F7140 is here. And F7140, pin number 2, is where everything shows up. So we're just going to have a look under the microscope and see what that looks like. So bear with me a moment, I'll try and get this in focus for you. So this is our inductor here, this is L7130.